this video, I want to discuss Acts, where the book of the Bible, where the Holy Spirit came down at Pentecost, and the disciples who were weak and spineless suddenly became strong and outspoken. The disciples who before they were living in hiding, they wouldn't come out. But then when Pentecost happened, what did they do? They themselves created an earthquake. They themselves became the salt of the earth. What I find interesting is that we have an earthquake today. We have a revival. But what's interesting, the revival is not coming from inside the churches. The revival is satanic revival, New Age revival, and the church is joining forces. How? By moderating the Bible. Changing the text to suit the New World Order, to suit this woke, liberal agenda. So this earthquake that is happening now is not one that is supposed to come from Pentecost, one that's supposed to come from people fearing God, but rather a satanic earthquake, a satanic apocalypse, where the world is shaking, immorality is growing. And what's interesting is the church, they themselves are not having their own fight back, their own, if you like, revival. Instead, the church has become quiet. You have to ask yourself the question, what has happened to being strong and courageous? What has happened where we are told that these men of God who you see, that people thought they were drunk because they were praising God. If you look at the churches today, they're drunk, quote unquote. They're drunk when they're praising God, quote unquote. But then, where is the power? These people then go out the next day and compromise. While they claim they're on the Spirit, they're not fit to tongues, etc. The next day, what do? They compromise, which means that was not indeed power. That was not genuine power. If it was genuine power, you'd go out there and you would tell it as it is. You would speak the message as it's supposed to be spoken and not dilute it, not water it down, not change it. But sadly, when you look around the world today, you see it has been changed. It has been diluted. You realize, where is this power that's being promised? If, and I put if, I'm looking around because I don't want to listen. If at the end of the day, the power of the Pentecost empowered the disciples, why is it the church today who goes off into praise and dance? Why is it the church today that what's that? Hillsong. They love their counterfeit praise and worship. Yet they're the most lukewarm Christianity ever. Hillsong promotes trans agenda. They promote the woke agenda. You begin to realize, what power are they talking about? If you look at it closely, you begin to realize the power is coming from the trans side. The power is coming from the woke agenda. The power is coming from liberals. They're the ones who seem to be having a genuine revival, a genuine satanic revival, while the church sits back and allows itself to be taken for a ride on this wicked journey. It's interesting because there's a shaking up of the earth, and the church is also being shaken up by demonic forces, by the devil. And not one of them are fighting back and said, let us create our own earthquake. Let us create our own, start to put challenges in other people's way. In fact, if anything, we are forced to compromise. We are forced to sound the same, look the same as everyone else. And you begin to realize something is seriously wrong. Seriously wrong. You can talk to or even engage with most of them, and you wouldn't believe that they were believers. You wouldn't believe it. Why? They sound like the world. They sound like the Corinthians when they're indulging in fornication, cheating and believing in all these strange New Age teachings. You wouldn't believe that they are Christians, talking to half of them. In fact, there's one student I have who's supposed to be a Christian, and she didn't even know what her church taught. Didn't even know what her church taught. This is the state they're in. Well, guess what? She knew about trans philosophy. She knew about trans rights. She knew about liberalism. And this woman is supposed to be a Christian, yet what her church taught, she never knew. This is what you call real satanic revival, where they're shaking up the earth for ultimate deception. The church is supposed to be the salt of the earth. Instead, we're not setting an example. The world is setting an example to us. And we are shaping ourselves to mirror image what the world wants. In other words, we're giving up. In other words, we haven't got the power of the Pentecost. If we did, we would not be in this position. You have to challenge me on this. If we have the genuine power of Pentecost, the genuine power of God, we would not be backing down. But then Revelation tells us why people are back down. They got mortgage, they got fast cars, they want the children to go to the right school. So Laodicea, they become lukewarm because they wanted money. They sold out to money and materialism. So if they don't get you in one way, they will get you in another. And with this digital currency, etc., it's really going to hit those who think that they haven't already find it challenging. It's really going to, when the digital currency comes in, it's going to get worse. And the worst thing about it is that we're supposed to be the salt, but we're not. We're not. The people out there are shaping us the way they want us to be, and not one of us is fighting back. The earth is shaking, and what's interesting, the church is also being shaken with it, and not for good. I don't know what else to say, but this is serious end times, and we need to wake up. If your pastor is not preparing you for this final Armageddon, then you need to stop paying your tithes. If he or she's not talking like this, then you need to stop paying your tithes. Because what they do, they're giving you sugar-coated, beautiful candy floss, gospel. That's what they're giving you. They're giving you something that you can digest easily. And that's what people want. They want something that they can digest easily. They want something that tastes like sugar. They don't want the strong meat. And that's why in the Bible it says many who followed Christ decided, well, and this is back to then, imagine now. Oh no, this way's too hard. It's too hard for me. And many decided I must go back into the world, make my money, become rich, have plenty of camel. And this is what's happening now. Many people are starting a journey, but some say, well, I'll sit on the fence and I'll just play Christianity. But you don't see no power. And when you don't see no power, you know they're playing games. If I don't, you can go off in praise and worship, praise dance as much as you want. When you don't see any power, when you see the church compromising, you know that praise dance don't mean anything. I've not seen one church yet stand up to the trans agenda, not one. And we're supposed to be given power and confidence. I hope you enjoy this video.